Hello, everybody. I'm KIMBALL Hooker. We're on the KIMBALL Hooker Show. I just want to say we have our special guest here today. It's been a long time since we've had her here on the show. It's been actually over a year. This is season 2. So everybody log in, kimball.show, and you can check out all of our artists prior to now for the last year. We've had a great success. You guys log in, trying to get our views up, so subscribe, log in, check us out. But today I want to get into our special guest today. She's special. I mean, when I say she's special, I mean like not just for music, but I mean her heart, her soul. She's a beautiful person inside and out. Miss Yvette Salas.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm honored to be here, obviously, again. And it's been a minute, but it's so good to be here. Feeling very blessed.
Well, K-Cat welcomes you.
Yeah,
you know,
K-Cat.
I welcome you. You know, you have so many fans out there that just love to go to your shows. What is that like? You know, the adrenaline, because I know you're a hell of an entertainer. You get up there, you leave it. You know, there's an expression. They say you get up there, you leave it on stage. You've heard that many times. How do you come to that realization that's like, you know what, I'm going to give it my all. These people showed up, you know what I mean? And how does that come about where you're like laying it all out there from your heart and your soul?
They're not my fans. So I've been here for a minute, and not necessarily just in music, but blessed to be a part of the music community, especially here in the Bay Area. And I asked, not just myself, but I drove to work in one day, just kind of recalling, because I don't think that time is passing. I think that the time that I have now, I need to cherish. So they're really more, or it's really more about them being the human beings that I have the honor to be with and the privilege to not sing to, but to sing with. And they really are what thrives the motive to be here. So yeah, they're, oh my gosh, to a fan is something that circulates and that blows my hair to make me look good, maybe. But those human beings, every human being truly is something individual and special, and I'm so honored. So yeah, that is why I'm here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your why.
That is my why. That is the reason. I mean, of course, you know, I have a primary, but we might talk a little bit about that in just a little bit.
We'll get into that.
I'm just saying.
Tell me, who are some of the people you play with?
I am, oh gosh, I'm so blessed, and I say this humbly.
You got a strong lineup, I know. Just, you know.
I do. These folks are, and to include yourself, Kimball, yourself, because, you know, I've had a journey as well with the Captivate experience with you and Angie Harnell. I know that she's been here. You know, there are many things with Myron and, you know, so many people that we have had the, you know, not just the privilege, because everybody brings their swag, but that swag is more than what it looks like on the music stage. It's interpersonal, it's inside, and I've had some really great times and a really great journey. I am with a few people, but I cross country because I have a home with the Groove Foundation, of course. I have my own piece, the center stage piece. I am able to, you know, just share stage with Vintage Jukebox and other folks who, you know, who you need a singer, I'm there.
Right.
You know, and, you know, I come and, you know, instead of me showing up for a gig, I get blessed over again. And I'm not just saying that because every opportunity has been another experience, obviously, but it's also a growth experience, and more so a place where I'm super grateful. And I think that, you know, a lot of us can relate to that. You know, even if I didn't share music stage, there was a hug, there was an impression, there was a role model that somebody gave me. So yeah, it's really still.
Let me ask you this. So when it comes down to like putting your show together, and you guys have the steps, you guys have the dress, you guys have the all the different things that make that whole situation pop, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like this is entertaining. Like, what role do you play in that in putting your show together, making it look like nasty like that? When I mean nasty in a good way, you know, it's sexy, it's classy. The way you guys handle yourself on stage, the steps, the harmonies, the backgrounds. talk to us a little bit about that. Who puts all that together?
It's all of us. It's a team. It's a team collaborative. It really is. Every individual and every thought counts. I have a big mouth and I'm not afraid, obviously, and I will let you know, no, you can't come like that, and we need you to watch this color swag and what have you. So it really isn't just me. However, I know that I can be a bit assertive in, in the expedite. Folks who play with me, not that iPads or what have you, but even with the upcoming Cash Creek show, we got some stars, like superstars, but y'all don't bring your iPad, okay?
Right.
Not
on stage.
Yeah, and it's not so much that you shouldn't and folks couldn't, but for me, I really want to be able to connect with not the audience, but with the human beings that I get to connect with.
Right.
And so if I, and that's not to say it's a bad thing, but I know that training my own memory bank to be able to not improvise, but to learn is a lot more conducive when I'm like intentional training. So it really is, you asked about things, who puts it together. We all do.
Okay.
There isn't one person that doesn't count. It is a team effort. It always will be a team effort.
Group contribution.
Yeah. Every voice counts. Every super swag counts, and every instrument, everything counts. To include, very important, those on the back line. Maybe somebody who's on sound, or doing the sound, or just somebody who's supporting the person who's up there with the front line on the stage. Any family member who will put up with us, they are truly the rocks. And I will never be afraid to say thank you for not just supporting us, but for putting up with us, for putting up with me. I mean, I will get on Facebook and because I'm not afraid, but I also know that I need to come in a sense of humility, because that's what's been given to me, and I've had a lot of grace.
Right.
So I don't know if that answers your question, but everybody
definitely it does. Okay, how does it come about that, like, so how many piece band do you have, first of all?
It depends which one you're talking at, and I feel like the pieces count. But what comes out of those pieces is what's most important.
You're right. That tells the story.
It is. It's grand to have a lot of folks on the stage, and for, like, say for instance, the Groove Foundation, we use a 3-goal front, which is awesome, but they put in a lot of hard work.
Right.
They don't just come,
Right.
and especially for a female lineup, not just the camaraderie, and it wasn't about the ego, but we're a team. So we become one voice,
right,
with our brothers or whoever's on stage, especially in something like that. So I never want to minimize the role or the effort and the contributions that they push.
Right.
But I am very assertive in, wanting to make sure that we have a good team and that we are doing the best that we can. I make mistakes all the time. I have no problem not sharing my secret, but learning right along with them.
How do you cover a mistake? How do you get past a mistake on stage?
You improvise and you learn from them and you make it good. Mistakes are always going to happen, but you improvise, you work with it, you work through it, and you make it good no matter what. And you go.
You just run with
going?
it. So
you got to come. Yay, you got to come.
Because people don't really understand this. Like, when you're on stage, it's possible you could forget lines to a song. You could be out of key. You could maybe forget a step. There's a lot of different things, variations. Or it could be something else, like maybe feedback. Maybe your mic doesn't sound, doesn't come.
Yeah.
You're singing, no one's hearing anything. How do you overcome something like that where it's like, wow?
Honestly, yeah, I pray. I'm deaf in my right ear, so for me, the journey of being live on stage, I work with IEMs now. Yeah, sure, IEMs. I'm just saying, get yourself a good pair. Don't leave home without it. Which are the in-ears.
Right.
So and I really am very particular, and I try to remember that we're a team. So again, the sound folks, being able to send the stage plots, getting the team prepped, and being part of that team, not the leader or not the person who is directing or delegating all the time, but being part of the team where I'm saying less and working more.
I love it.
That's a team.
I love it. Right.
So it wasn't about sharing secrets or telling folks what to do. It's about exercising humility and role modeling, what that might look like for you.
When you have a lot of musical like powerhouses on stage at one time, that is hard. When you have so much knowledge and creativity and so many people that have their own past of greatness, including yourself, right? And then you're on the stage sharing that greatness with other greatness, there has to be some sort of like, you know what, we have to do this together. At the end of the day, it's a team. And so humility is big, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of greatness on stage. How do you, how does that become one? Because a band is one. Created by around so many other people, and it has to sound like one sound. One band, one sound.
It starts in here first. It starts with self. It starts with a reflection and a self-check of your own mirror, Yvette, and what you're willing to bring to that table to make not just the team, to be a leader, a team player, a leader, but more so one voice, whether it be the instrumentation and it doesn't mean that I do that perfectly. I can be, I'm sure. Hence the idea that
you don't make mistakes.
It's well. I mean, the mistakes are those are learning opportunities. I make mistakes all the time. I should. Hey, if you make me sing, I'm going back to the basics. It's everybody already has seen Facebook or what have you, and because it's not so much that we can't control what goes out on social media, but if you're going to be out there, you should already understand and be in the acceptance of you're going to be not out there, but out there. And all the things that you see as a mistake, you can do two things. You can see it and you can judge yourself and or become agitated in some manner where it's not necessarily conducive or productive, and or you can say, yeah, that was me. Oh, snap, live. And not learn from it, but have a different lens. I can promise you that there are many mistakes I still make out there. And I'm saying this with humility. But it also gives me an opportunity to be a better player, to be a better worker, to be a better performer overall. Right. I think that performance is not just the song in itself or the vocal or what have you. I think it's the overall package. If you're on the front line, you give the overall package. And it's not so much that we shouldn't use iPads. I just don't, because it gets in my way. Right. I'd get distracted. And so I've learned to move without it, because I will use an iPad. If you put me to a wedding, you make me sing that song and I'm not sure and you're dancing, well, I'll do my due diligence though, and prior. This is not perfect, but I'll take the time to learn the lyric, to learn the song in my work, when I'm driving to work or what have you. And unfortunately and fortunately, it'll run through my head over and over again until I'm like, God, please, can you get that out of my head? But that's just the way that I've trained my brain to learn.
How long does it take you to learn a song?
So that's a good question, Kimball. Because it's not about feeling the song, but I've got to be able to tell the story through the song. I've got to be able to imagine the story. I've got it, and that's how I learned the song. I learned the story. I look at what is it talking about? Is that something that I can relate to? And even if I can't relate to, how can you get into that story and tell the story too? It
helps you become.
Yeah, and I also give It also gives me a permission. I give myself permission. You don't have to sing it just like them, because I'm not going to.
Do you pick your songs? Do people suggest songs for you?
Well, I would be fibbing if I said yes or no. Because I do feel like it's important to provide the ambiance and provide what the crowd or the human beings that are there want to hear. However, I don't want to lose my authenticity, nor do I want to lose, and it's not about me being, I'm not a great singer, but I am, wait, but I am a good overall package because I work at it. I will work your crossover.
Yvette, I learned so many things from you. I have to say this. I have to say this. I learned so much. Okay, first of all, let me say, we sang in a band called Captivate. Yeah. Angie Harnell, Yvette Salas, myself, Myron Myron Edwins. There were so many great musicians in that band. Yeah. And what I learned, and I'm saying this humbly too, what I learned from Yvette is how to work a crowd. When I tell you this lady knows how to work a crowd, I mean it from the bottom of my heart too. I just watched you talking to the audience, singing the song, prepping the stage. I mean, even where you were standing on the stage, I really learned a lot. I really did, because that was actually my first time on the front line, because I came from drums. I've been playing drums all my life. And when I got on that stage, and I saw you work in that crowd, I said, OMG, this is a professional. This is how it's done. And I knew it because I could see the crowd was like, you had them right here in the palm of your hand. You had them right there. And I honor that. I respect that, because that's not just like it wasn't just an aha moment, but it was a teaching, because I learned. And since then, I've taken it to a different level. But with you, it was like free class for me to watch it pro. And you had so many years prior to that, before that. And this is like, what, 10 years ago? So I already know you had 30 years before. Okay, not 30. Maybe like 20 years before that. That's of good. Just doing your thing. And you're so talented. And you have, you know what? I have to put you on the spot. I want to hear you sing. Can I hear you sing?
Yeah.
No pressure.
So I said already that, because if you looked on my, not just my Facebook page, but the Groove Foundation and all the other bands are, they're phenomenal bands. And we talked a little bit about, the overall, not package, but being able to cross country with the types of music, the genres and what have you. And my roots are what they are. And, when I sing like Alicia Keys or Keisha Cole or, any of the other tunes, one of my faves right now is, and not because I sing it perfectly or great, but, I love good music.
Yeah.
I love good music. We picked up, some of the Journey tunes in separate ways. I feel like, I do well with rock. I got that little raspy, NASTY, like yuck voice, and I'll be all up in your business, but I mean this lovingly, but I grew up on, with my dad, with Freddie Fender and the Patsy Clines and things like that.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. And so I said, I don't think that I'm this great wedding singer, but I love, the classic tunes as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of Marie Osmond, but I need to stand up. I can't, I'd rather stand. So I don't know if the camera's going to, can I stand on the camera? Is that cool? Can I stand? No? All right. Well, let me just do it like this. So I'm going to take half this, and I'm going to do a little bit of my dad's song. Cool?
All right. Okay? Let's do it.
All right. I realize the way your eyes deceive me with tender looks that I mistook for love. So take away the flowers that you've given me and send the kind that you remind me of. Paper roses, paper roses. Whoa, how real those roses seem to be, but they're only imitations, like your imitation love for me. Like your imitation love for me.
I love it. Wow, that's amazing.
Daddy.
I love it. You just laid me on the floor with that one. I love it.
I got my cowboy boots on for that.
The shoe cam. We got the shoe cam right there. I love you got to floss the shoes, the boots. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the rich tone, and you know what I love about you the most, honestly, other than your humility, as far as your performance, I always feel what you sing. I always get, I seriously feel it, like I know where you're coming from, and it's like emotional, So that's amazing.
Yeah, and for whatever it's worth, if you took me back into the day. And we talked last time about where I came from, but it still resonates as the primary, besides, God and all of the things that and it's not just my faith base, but just my relationship with Christ and what have you, because that still is the first. But even doing the things, because I'm so blessed to still be here.
Yeah.
I have health. I have, family. I have an amazing son who still supports me despite his mama still being out there, because my son is 39 years old, crazy. This time and place that I have here on stage, particularly with these amazing human beings, to include yourself as, just the excellence of musicianship, the perfection that they bring, and the contributions. Like my Cache Creek show that's coming up, we were rehearsing at Sound Waves, and for whatever it's worth, I love Sound Waves. Here's a free prep for you. Y'all might
free
feel
plug.
Okay, y'all might feel a little funny style coming in the door, but once you get in there, you can feel the history of the vibes from every amazing talented artist, way before we
even got there,
just like OMG, and even as we were rehearsing. But going back to that Sunday, just having the folk that we had, Chuck Lounge, my Glenn P, who's in the Groove Foundation, Phil Bierman, just, JR, Daryl Armstrong, just all of these amazing musicians. I just call, and there's so many more, with my Too Smooth group, yes, to include Jerry Augustine and Derry Williams, for sure, my bro for life. I just, and you guys and Thomas, and the journey is exceptional. And it wasn't about having a perfect show. It was about recognizing and realizing that I get to be here with them, and what an honor it has been and still is to be able to step stage. Now, don't get it twisted, because when we rock the show coming up at Cache Creek, another free plug, okay? These guys, and the show is because it's a show, the casino shows that we do are specific, and they are met with an expedite, and they're working hard and doing what they need to do to bring their A game. And no matter what, because of the hard work, I'm already confident it wasn't about, again, making sure that the things were perfect, but now they get to have fun and become their own individual self, and have that contribution to make one voice and one team.
Oh, I love it.
That's also, always with the Groove Foundation. Me and my cousin Freddie Torres, he's probably the one that puts up with me the most. Evelyn, his wife, loves me, and I just bring them up again because I know we talked about it before. But, you talked about the camaraderie on stage. The camaraderie between, that kind of a relationship specifically, because he is still one of my rocks, Pops in here, has been integral, crucial, a huge learning experience, and helped me to grow up still.
Right.
And they are amazing in their own right, musicianship-wise and as human beings.
Where can people follow you?
You mean, where am I going to bug y'all?
Social media, IG, Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. I tried the Instagram thing, and I'm not good at it.
It takes time.
I just, because I love being on stage. But I'm still here. I'm blessed to be here. But my praise and my worship is still where I want to be. More so than that, I'm kind of young, and I mean that with humility, because I'm still here. And so I just I couldn't figure it out. So I'm still on Facebook. I'll PR, the band, whoever I'm with, particularly the Groove Foundation, because that's my home band. Again, I have the honor to play with such great other pieces as well, to include Center Stage, which is my own piece. So if you it's really more about me bugging you guys. Hey, can you? What's up? Yo, come through, So thank you.
I have a really deep question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as praise and worship goes, can you describe and tell us the difference between that and, say, Groove Foundation or Centerpiece?
Yeah,
what's the fine line on that?
There's not a fine line, except for it's never gonna be, or I never want it to be, about me when I do praise and worship. I want more of him, and if not less. Just it should never be about me when I do praise and worship, and that's why I have, and even sometimes, and here, the fine line is, but I know that God is purposeful, and Yvette, you're right, it ain't about you, so be quiet, okay? If I tell you to go sing at that birthday party, and you're gonna do, my name because, and I tell you, and you check with me first, and you allow me to move through you, then that's the fine line, because I love praise and worship, but I love secular music, and it's not secular. I love to sing.
Should an artist have to choose?
No.
An artist should not have to choose.
Absolutely not. Nobody should be judging either. Ain't nobody should be judging. Okay, Vet, you better not be judging. Okay? No. God, for me, that's everywhere.
Right.
I wouldn't be there. So praise and worship, when I say it's in my heart, that's where I want to be. It just means I want to get to church Sunday morning. And when I do my Cash Creek shows, I'm saying, yeah, I can't make it over there. That's not to say that church is where it needs to be. It's in here.
Right. It's with you all the time.
It's in here.
Right.
It's out there on the stage. It's at Cash Creek. I can promise you. I can promise you that it's not about I don't live. He doesn't leave me. And he doesn't leave the crew that, he's not going to leave. And I know that for a fact. It's the one thing that I know, the only truth that I know, the only true love that I know. The only true love that I know.
That you know.
Yeah. So it wasn't even about me. So when I say praise and worship, please, with humility, it wasn't about, this religious or this thing about me having, because, I got a relationship, thank God, thank goodness for you guys too. I'm, if you think I'm loud now, shit.
Right.
Clean, I'm sober, it's good. But I feel like I wouldn't be if it weren't for that. Not praise and worship, but for that relationship and that covering.
Right.
So the fine line isn't really about anything. It's just right here, right now, still.
Gotcha. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for coming back on part 2, season 2, KIMBALLHookerShow.com. You guys check us out, tune in, subscribe. Los Gatos Monte Sereno. Our special guest, Yvette Salas, in the house. Go check her out. She's all over the place. Google her, IG her, Facebook her. And for now, we're gonna leave us, and we're gonna see you again next time.
I'm gonna see you guys again.
All right.
Thank you so much, K-Cat. Thank you, Kimball.
And we're out of here. Kimball Hooker. We're signing out.
Bye.
You just heard the Kimball Hooker Show here on KCAT Radio. Explore all our KCAT original programming at kcat.org/radio.